A beverage chain Molly Tea is trending on Chinese social media after it lost a trademark infringement case to French luxury brand Louis Vuitton. Now, a court in Suzhou ruled that Molly Tea's four-petal logo was just too similar to one of LV's registered designs. The tea company was ordered to apologize and also pay about $1.5 million in damages. But the ruling has touched a nerve and triggered debate in China. So for more on this, CNA senior correspondent Tan Yu-Guan, he joins us live from Shanghai. So Yu-Guan, for those of us who are not sure why this case has become so controversial, please enlighten us.
Well, the controversy came about because many people here see this as more than just a dispute between two brands. Now, let's take a look at the two motifs. The one on the left is Louis Vuitton's. Molly Tea's logo is in the middle. And the one on the right is a similar floral form found in a historic Suzhou garden. When you look at this graphic, it's not hard to notice some similarities between the designs, but they are not identical. For example, the center of Molly Tea's flower sits a diamond-shaped hole, while LV's flower has a circular floral center. But the crux of the issue here, critics argue, is that LV's flower resembles a floral motif found in ancient China, as you can see there with the example from a historic Suzhou garden. So the backlash is over whether a foreign luxury brand is being allowed to use trademark law to claim excessive broad control over a shared cultural form. And that tension came through clearly when my team spoke to people here in Shanghai. Let's take a listen.
它也不是完完全全的把 LV 的那个东西照搬过去了，并且它也没有把 LV 的字样印过去，只能说它这个花纹是和 LV 很像，那也可以说这个花纹和以前古代的那种花纹很像。
我是觉得这个共创是多元的，然后如果是从一些我们中国自己传统文化一些这种图案上去，在这个基础上去发挥一些创作，我觉得这个都是很好的呀。
我觉得对茉莉奶白应该是件好事情吧，对它的知名度通过一个大牌去放大，然后靠着一个他想联名 LV 可能都不一定能够做到，黑红也是红。
Okay, so the guy has said it. Negative publicity is still publicity. So that last soundbite there is quite interesting. But is it the case for Molly Tea that they're going to get more recognition now?
In some ways it is, because according to a Caixin report, Molly Tea's official Weibo account gained around 250,000 followers in the month after the case became public. So LV may have won the court case, but Molly Tea has gained sympathy and a great deal of free publicity. Molly Tea gained even more goodwill after it donated about $150,000 to flood-hit Hangzhou in Guangxi at about the same time this case came out. So Hangzhou is a major jasmine flower growing region closely tied to Molly Tea's signature ingredient, jasmine-infused tea, and even its Chinese name, Molly Nai Bai. So of course, when we bring in Molly Tea's main ingredient, it also raises a design question. Why did Molly Tea not design a logo more closely resembling a jasmine flower, a flower with 5 to 9 petals? Why did it choose a 4-petal motif? Was it really trying to copy LV? Well, I'll tell you, that is literally the million-dollar question.
What about that Suzhou court? You know, I mean, was that some of the things that they considered as well? And I'm curious to know, what did the ruling actually say?
From what we know, the court's reasoning appears to be narrower than the wider cultural debate online. It reportedly focused on the shape of the petals, their symmetry, and the overall visual impression. And the court also considered how consumers interpret branding in China today. Collaborations between luxury labels and beverage chains have become quite commonplace. Louis Vuitton itself has worked with a Chinese coffee chain. So the court ruled that Molly Tea's logo could well lead consumers to believe the two companies had entered into a licensed collaboration. The court also reportedly considered what Molly Tea did after LV sent legal letters in 2024. According to excerpts of the ruling, Molly Tea later expanded the use of similar elements across cups and merchandise. Still, Molly Tea's founder says the company intends to appeal.
So, Yuguan, if we can just rewind this, like, a whole way back and we talk about the history, right? And what does the evidence actually tell us about where this particular motif came from?
Well, on its Weibo, Louis Vuitton brought up its old registration document in France to stake its claim. It shows that LV's monogram is not simply just one flower. It's a repeating system of initials, floral forms, and geometric elements. LV also says that this 1896 monogram drew from Art Nouveau, Japonism, and Gothic art. And some netizens have compared the LV monogram with floral and geometric decorations found on Tang-era pipa preserved in Japan. And that really is where the controversy comes from. The versions of this graphic has been floating around on Chinese social media. It does not prove that LV copied this particular object, but it illustrates why some people reject the idea that the four-petal motif began with LV. After all, by the 1890s, Europe already had a long tradition of chinoiserie art, and that draws inspiration loosely from ceramics, textiles, and other products from China. And by that Art Nouveau period, Chinese and Japanese influences were somewhat blended together. What's more, we also know that, Tang Dynasty, China had a huge influence on Japan's cultural development. And what's more, Islamic art is also a major source of geometric ornamentation because, religious objections against idolatry. Therefore, Islamic art favored abstract patterns. So it's hard to draw a line where geometric ornamentation comes from. After all, international trade and cultural exchange, Otelli, isn't a modern invention. It's just accelerated during our time.
Well, thanks very much for giving us a history of all the motifs. CNA senior correspondent Han Yuguan speaking to us from Shanghai.